Tweety Carter was once on top of the basketball world, as after a high school career that saw this electrifying point guard set a national record with over 7,000 points scored, Tweety would be named a McDonald's All-American and would take his talents to Baylor University, where eventually he would help guide Baylor to the most wins they had ever had in their school's history. And along the way on his basketball journey, Carter would outplay future NBA stars, would rack up awards, and found tremendous individual and team success. Which means the question has to be asked here, why did Tweety Carter never make the NBA? So what's up guys, Mike here, and yes, today we are talking about one of high school basketball's biggest legends, Tweety Carter. This is a man who again scored over 7,000 points in his high school basketball career and was a McDonald's high school basketball All-American. How is it possible that he went from there to never making the NBA? Well, in today's video, we're gonna find out. But guys, before we continue, I want to talk to you about something serious, and that is your ball hair. Now, I remember a time where I was going to summer camp and I heard a camp counselor say, "No girl likes a bush." At the time, I did not understand what that meant. The only bushes I knew about were the ones that were growing all around me, but little did I know that one would soon grow on me. And that is why I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by Manscaped, because Manscaped is the only men's brand that is dedicated to below the waist hygiene and grooming, which means with their razors such as this one, you are going to be able to cut your ball hair with no problems. And I say this because I know we probably all have a horror story or two, one that might involve an accident while shaving and a very, very awkward doctor's trip. Luckily though, thanks to Manscaped, that is never going to be a problem again. With this beautiful lawnmower 3.0, you are going to have a top of the line ceramic blade that completely removes accidents for the rest of your life. Trust me, this is going to be the best thing you will get. So with the lawnmower 3.0 and its 90-minute battery life and its LED lighting, you are going to be able to trim your ball hair like never before. And on top of that, if you use the promo code Korzemba20, which is right here and the link is in the description, you are going to get 20% off and free shipping from manscaped.com. I personally would say to go buy the Perfect Package 3.0 kit at manscaped.com. That is a deal that is impossible to beat. We all have to stay clean during this quarantine. So use my promo code Korzemba20 to get 20% off of manscaped.com and free shipping. Again, guys, your balls will thank you. Growing up as a young kid, Demond Tweety Carter would quickly establish himself as a basketball phenom, and that, combined with the fact that his high school, Reserve Christian, enrolled students from kindergarten all the way to senior year, gave Tweety the perfect combination to later set an all-time high school scoring record. As due to high school rules that applied at the time in Louisiana, Tweety was able to play against high school competition once he entered the 7th grade. So this meant that at the age of just 13, Tweety would take the court against much older players and already established himself as a solid varsity asset. During his first varsity game, Tweety would score 21 points and would finish the year averaging 15.7 points as a 7th grader, a time when many of us were afraid to talk to girls and would certainly be terrified of playing against 18-year-olds in packed high school gyms. But the thing is, Tweety was fearless. He was incredibly confident, and because of this, he became the most talked about player in his era. Because if he could already score at this high of a level at the age of 13, people began to wonder just how incredible was he going to be by the time he was a senior. And of course, we will get to that, but for now, at this point in his life, Tweety's talent was of course unquestioned. And so when he was in the 8th grade, Carter was now invited to Nike camps across the country. It was there that he would play against the likes of future NBA players such as Lou Williams and Monte Ellis, and at this early age, it was official. Tweety's star was on the rise. This success would continue during his 8th grade varsity season, as in 2002, Tweety would lead Reserve Christian School to their first ever state championship in their school's history after a 42-10 season in which Carter averaged 23 points and 5 assists a game. And what was even more incredible here was that in a season where he should have been playing middle school basketball, Tweety Carter was named his state's most outstanding player. Because of this, and of course the incredible talent he had, Tweety became one of just 2 8th graders in the entire country country to be invited to the 2002 Nike All-America camp. It is at this point in his career that I do want to mention, if he was playing high school basketball now, Tweety would certainly be a YouTube and Instagram sensation. As standing under 6 feet tall, Carter could score with phenomenal range and ability and often left defenders looking absolutely foolish. So when you consider this combined with the level of competition he was facing as a young teenager in today's basketball climate, I am sure we would have seen several viral videos from Tweety before he was even a high school freshman. With that said, his success would only catapult further during his freshman season, as he would average 24.7 points and 5 assists per game. At this point, the awards would continue as Tweety was named the 2003 National High School Freshman of the Year by SuperPrep.com. And once again, Reserve Christian High School won the state championship after a 72-67 victory in which Carter scored a much needed 39 points. And of course, because of the early success he already had, I'm sure it is no surprise to hear that Tweety's sophomore and junior seasons were more of the same. During his sophomore year, Tweety was again named Louisiana's most outstanding basketball player, and during his junior season, he would finally break the 30-point per game mark, as he would average 31.1 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds a night, while also bringing home a state championship. This was huge, as entering his senior season, Tweety had established himself as a consensus top 100 recruit in the nation and was known by everyone who knew high school basketball, which is why it should come as no surprise that as a senior, Tweety would more than live up to the hype. Again, the numbers were there, as Carter averaged 30.8 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. Stats that yet again proved the man was not just an incredible scorer, but was also a threat from everywhere on the court. Most impressive individually this season was when Tweety scored 74 points and knocked down 13 three-pointers on December 5th, 2005 against East St. John's, which would end up being Tweety's high school career high. This season would also bring some big-time awards for Tweety, as he was named Louisiana Mr. Basketball and was a Parade All-American, a Jordan All-American, and most importantly, a 2006 McDonald's All-American, an accomplishment that would see him match up against the likes of other high school superstars such as Kevin Durant. And while Durant was certainly a big name at the time, Tweety had cemented his name as a high school legend, because to conclude his high school career, Carter would finish with a total of 7,457 points, an absurd amount, as that made him the all-time leading scorer in national high school basketball history by over 1,000 points. This is possibly an unbreakable record, as it took the perfect circumstances to occur, and because of his clear on-court dominance, all of Tweety's hard work and determination would pay off big time, as he received a full scholarship to Baylor. The thing was though, despite the fact that Baylor was in the Big 12, which meant that attending Baylor could put Tweety on the national scene, this was an interesting decision, considering just a few years before, the Baylor basketball team had a scandal in which Patrick Dennehy was killed by his teammate Carlton Dotson. To make matters even worse at the time was that Baylor's head coach was caught lying about the situation, so this led to sanctions that put Baylor's basketball team in the gutter for quite some time. They would finish with an 8-21 record in 2004, a 9-19 record in 2005, and a 4-13 record in 2006, as going even further here, things were so dire for Baylor that they were only allowed to play conference games in 2006 due to their sanctions. So for a player of Tweety's caliber, a McDonald's All-American, to commit to Baylor was a very unusual decision. But Carter stood by this decision, stating, quote, "God told me to go here. He told me where to be, and God didn't send me here to quit." And so off to Baylor Tweety went, where he quickly made an impact during his freshman season, playing in all 31 games and starting the final 13 at point guard. This was a promising start. However, in his sophomore season, even though Baylor would probably improve enough to make the NCAA tournament, Tweety himself had somewhat of an underwhelming season, as during his sophomore year, he would average just 9.6 points and 2.8 assists a game, numbers that were definitely disappointing for a former McDonald's All-American. And his junior season would not exactly see a huge improvement, as despite the fact that he was now a full-time starter, Tweety averaged just 10.6 points and 3.2 assists in 33.2 minutes a game. The thing is though, Tweety did not let his good but not great play over his first 3 years in college get him down. He put in the hours, he put in as much hard work as he possibly could, and over time, he would steadily improve and finally became the type of player that everyone expected when he stepped foot on Baylor's campus. Because as a senior, Tweety would become a college basketball weapon. He would score 27 points in his 3rd, 4th, and 5th games that year, and the scoring magic that arose in high school had returned. From there, Baylor and Tweety had great seasons, and the program would finish with the best record in their school's history. Tweety would be recognized as a 3rd-team All-Big 12 player in that 2010 season, as he put up averages of 15 points, 5.9 assists, and 1.3 steals a game. Then, in the 2010 NCAA tournament, Baylor would again dominate as they cruised all the way to the Elite Eight, where they would face off against the Duke Blue Devils. This game would be very hyped up, and as you can see here, Tweety would hit a crucial 3 with the first half winding down to give Baylor a 35-29 lead. However, almost 10 years after starting high school basketball in the 7th grade, Carter's journey playing at a high level in America would basically come to an end on this night. Because although Baylor would have a 2-point lead with under 5 minutes left in this game, ultimately Duke's size proved to be too much and Duke would win by 7 points. Carter would finish with 12 points and 4 assists in the biggest game of his life, and with this loss, of course, Tweety's college career had ended. And so what happened after college? Well, Carter did go undrafted in 2010, but he still did receive some pro interest. He ended up playing a game in the 2010 preseason for the Oklahoma City Thunder. However, that would be the closest Tweety ever came to making the league. There is a bright side to this story though, as with Tweety's NBA dream seemingly over, he would decide to play overseas and has been successful enough to have a 10-year professional career, and he is still playing pro basketball in 2020. So despite the fact that he never made the NBA, I've got to say getting paid to play 10 plus years of the game you love is a pretty happy ending to any story. And there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, there is a new second channel video out right now. The link is in the description and pinned to the comments. In that video, I went back to the 2008 season and rebuilt the worst team in the NBA. It was awesome. It was really cool seeing some names like Kobe, Dirk, and Tim Duncan be involved in this rebuild. Plus, I may have paired and Kevin Durant together. I don't know. To go find out, make sure to go watch that video. On top of that, if you're still here, it would be awesome if you liked this video. Liking the video helps out a ton, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on by clicking the bell so you don't miss a video. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.